It's Wednesday, July 5th, 2023, and I'm Dave Sobel. 3 things to know today. A surge in consumer confidence index points to economic optimism. Organizations' use of SaaS apps grows 27% year over year and predicted to cost $10,000 per employee. And Silicon Valley's changing norms, routine drug use in corporate culture. This is the business of tech. Did you enjoy the time off? Feeling relaxed and more upbeat? Well, optimism might be the name of the game. The nonprofit think tank, the Conference Board, said its consumer confidence index surged to 109.7 in June, up from 102.5 in May, to its highest level since January 2022. The final University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey for June showed a 9% surge in overall sentiment and an even stronger surge in expectations for the future. Notably, a key driver is receding inflation worries. Consumers' expectations for inflation over the next year fell to 3.3% in June from 4.2% in May, a remarkably abrupt drop. The U.S. economy began the year with more momentum than initially thought. Gross domestic product grew at an annualized 2% rate in the first quarter, a notable upward revision from the most recent estimate of 1.3% and the first estimate of 1.1%. The quicker pace results from stronger export growth and consumer spending, particularly on services. The labor market has shown only the mildest slippage from a super-hot 2020. The unemployment rate was 3.7% in May, up from 3.5% in December, and the June number is due Friday. Employers have added an average of 314,000 jobs a month, robust by any historical standard, but slower than last year's pace of 460,000 per month. The share of 25 to 54-year-olds who are employed has kept rising this year to 80.7% from 80.1% in December, a sign that this economy keeps putting more people in their prime working years into jobs. And in tech, a recent survey of the blind community, that is the anonymous tech career forum Blind, found 56% of tech workers are open to accepting the same or lower pay in a new role so long as it fulfills another unmet need. 45% said weathering market conditions were their primary reason, 19% mentioned company culture and work-life balance, and 14% cited remote hybrid workplace preferences. The sentiment is positive in tech too. 81% of large enterprise CIOs plan to increase their IT headcount in 2023, according to a recent survey by Gartner. Only 14% expect their IT staff to decrease, and 5% expect their headcount to remain the same. Why do we care? Some economists are starting to lean into that narrative that conditions are good. I've seen evidence of that, but more importantly, conversations with IT services companies are upbeat. It's always wise to be prepared for downtimes. That advice is eternal. It doesn't seem like we are in downtimes, at least in the US. Organizations can expect to spend almost $10,000 per employee on software as a service in 2023, according to a new study by SaaS management company Productive. The average department now uses an average of 87 SaaS apps, a growth of 27% between 2022 and 2023. The 5 most popular SaaS apps are Lucidchart, LinkedIn, Salesforce, Atlassian Cloud, and DocuSign. This list has remained mostly the same since 2021, with the 5 apps listed above swapping places but remaining in the top 5. Zendesk is another app popular among customer success teams, while Figma appears in the top 5 for engineering teams. Engineering teams use the most SaaS apps with an average of 108. The IT and security teams saw the most growth in SaaS app usage between 2022 and 2023, with an increase of 33%, mostly in point solution and ROI tools. SaaS adoption continues to rise gradually. The average SaaS portfolio grew by 32% over the past 2 years. When broken down by the organization's size, the data shows that small and medium-sized business SaaS portfolios grew by 5%. In comparison, mid-market portfolios increased by 41% and enterprise portfolios increased by 49%. Why do we care? That low SMB number says one of two things. Either SaaS is heavily penetrated or there's much room to grow. Considering that the per-employee numbers for SMBs are higher, I'm going to say heavily penetrated. This makes sense, and also why we care about this space. The Wall Street Journal had an article last week examining the use of drugs in Silicon Valley. Here's a key paragraph. Routine drug use has moved from an after-hours activity squarely into corporate culture, leaving boards and business leaders to wrestle with their responsibilities for a workforce that frequently uses. Tech executives and employees see psychedelics and similar substances, including ketamine and LSD, as gateways to business breakthroughs. Why do we care? I debated covering this. Here's why I think we care. At least in Silicon Valley, norms are shifting. Broader IT tends to move slower than that, but it can also trend that way. I'm not going to advocate either way. I will offer that business leaders should be aware of the trend and continue to track it. This may become a thing to know about. Do you like getting paid? Then make it easy for your customers with Gazinta Payments. Do you teach your customers not to click on links from strange domain names like mymsp.monkeypayments.com or slowbooks.com? Gazinta Payments uses your branding and domain name. No redirects, no confusion. Gazinta Mobius is trusted by over 1,000 MSPs to sync financial data. Their new product, Gazinta Payments, is built with the same care and empathy to make the payment process easy for your customers. Gazinta is a family-owned business dedicated to making software suck less every day. Go to gozynta.com/payments to learn more or get started. Thanks for listening. Today, National Graham Cracker Day. That one takes you back to your childhood. I want to acknowledge that I'm tracking a story related to the Cyber Drain Improved Partner Portal, or SIP. The story is developing. When I have some firm news, I'll come back with analysis and perspective. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. The Business of Tech is written and produced by me, Dave Sobel, under ethics guidelines posted at businessof.tech. Like the content? Support the show at patreon.com/MSP Radio or buy our Why Do We Care merch at businessof.tech. If you want to reach our listeners, visit mspradio.com/engage.
Part of the MSP Radio Network.